Hello and welcome. Um, my name is Chris. This is Lesson Jigsaw. We are doing a test live stream here once again, testing out some of the networks and settings and all that sort of stuff. We are here for English language conversation practice. So if during the live stream, if you want to join in, just let us know in the chat. Otherwise, you can send us an email. You see an email address down the bottom, chat on lessonjigsaw at gmail.com. Chat on lessonjigsaw at gmail.com. And if you want to have a chat either now or some other time, we can arrange a time for you to have a chat and come and practice English. That's what we're talking about, practicing English. Because I guess it's the important thing, isn't it? You need to actually use the language to develop the skill. I'm going to do a quick recording of a podcast, just to while I'm here. So I'll just change the thing there. Hello and welcome to this edition of 5 of 30. We are here for English language practice and try to help you improve your English language skills. And here today we want to talk about how do you know if you've improved? How do you monitor your success? And let me know. Please let me know in the comments or write to us and let us know, how do you check if you've actually made progress? Now, for me, from my perspective, I always think it's important with students to have goals and to set clear goals and trying to be as specific as possible with those goals. So like we've mentioned before, it's not just about saying, oh, I want to learn English. If you can say, like, I want to learn English because I want to travel and I want to have conversations about booking a ticket in a train station, and I want to be able to ask for directions and try and understand them, and so on. And if you can set specific targets, I think it's much easier then to evaluate your progress. And I think the other important thing is when you're looking at progress, you can't, of course, measure yourself compared to anyone else. You have to see how you've improved compared to yourself. So how you were before a class, or how you were yesterday or last week. And sometimes the progress is slow and very incremental, but I'm pretty sure probably it is there if you are practicing. And if you see, and you think maybe, I haven't made any progress, I guess the question is, what have you been doing? What have been the activities that you've been involved in? So it may be a case of you've had a lot of input, so you've had a lot of reading and a lot of listening, but you haven't had a lot of speaking and writing, or you haven't had a chance to check what you've been saying with anyone, or used any apps or things like that, or websites to check if what you've been speaking or saying or writing has been accurate. Or maybe you haven't been looking for alternatives or synonyms or antonyms or different ways of expressing things. So I think it's really important to try and evaluate if you feel you haven't made any progress, why? And similarly, when you feel you have made changes and you're maybe saying things better, or you're using better vocabulary, or you're feeling more fluent, to again ask yourself, what has the difference been? Why have I made that progress? Is it just because I've been practicing? Is it the frequency of practice? And things like that. And I think that's a really important thing. But please let me know, what do you do? How do you A, set your goals, and B, how do you check you've been making improvements? How often do you sit back and reflect to see if you have made any progress and changes to the way that you're speaking and writing English? Okay, that's it for this edition of 5 of 30. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. See you. Bye. Okay, that's the podcast section recorded. So now I'm just going to sit here, I guess, and I'll speak with myself. And as weird as that may be, uh, I think if you're an English language learner, that's not a bad thing to do, is to talk to yourself. And because a lot of times if you're in a country and everyone around you is speaking the same language, which is not English, it can be, you can feel like, oh, I've got nowhere to practice. But um, this is where, and you probably heard this a few times from me, where you can even use your things like your phone. Get your mobile phone out and use the voice recorder. So it does sound a little bit weird to hear your own voice sometimes and that sort of thing. But half of the process is that you're actually speaking out loud. You're not just thinking about what you want to say. So I think if you're at least making the effort to speak out loud, you can identify those words that you don't know what to say, or you feel you need other words because maybe you're repeating the same word a lot, and things like that. Uh, and I guess it has to be a practical situation. The more practical it can be, the better. So obviously, if you have a chance to have a conversation with someone, that's the best case scenario. But if nothing else, you do have an option like that. Now, the advantage of the voice recorder, if you don't like listening to your voice, okay, I guess you don't have to listen to the recording, but you still have the feeling and the pressure of speaking live. If you can listen to your voice, if you can get that comfort level up, it then can be a very good thing just to listen to how you sound, listen to the modality of your voice. Is there a nice rhythm to your voice, or is it sounding very monotone, or does it sound like maybe you're reading something? Maybe you're not reading, but maybe it does sound like you're reading when you're listening back to it. And again, you can hear, like when I speak, I notice I say a lot of ums and ahs when I'm speaking, and I interrupt my sentences a lot, and I break off into to other points of or other sentences, just like that. And these are habits, and they're good things to realize and try and improve if you can. So I guess that's one thing to think about. I guess the other thing, like when people say, when their topics, what can they talk about? I guess there's a few ways that you can do things. Like, say, let's have a bit of an explore, shall we? Uh, let's let me. So if we have a look at, say, something like, now I haven't actually checked this before, but let's have a look. So, okay, now we're just going to the BBC website here as an example, but it could be anything or any place. So you've got a whole bunch of stories, and you can obviously choose if there's a story that you think could be interesting. Um, Okay, so let's have a look at let's have a more sort of let's more relaxed sort of story, because there's lots of doom and gloom and sad, negative sort. Well, not necessarily negative, but just sort of sad stories, or ones that are not particularly uplifting. But let's look at something sort of um, low key, let's say. And so, okay, so here there's a story. At the time of recording, this was a story from 2 hours ago. We can see here. Oh, actually, I should actually show you that. I've put that on, but I haven't actually shown you that. That would be helpful. Okay, so we can see this story here. This was from about 2 hours ago, and you've got the headline, obviously, and then you've got the story that you can read. And now, depending on how much you want to read, you can choose it, and how much time you have. And what you can try and do is, like, say for example, if you're reading and you don't have much time, you can read through this, and if you want to perhaps like practice comprehension and that sort of thing, you can just have a read through. and just say, okay, so what have I understood? What do I think? Ask yourself the question words. What do I understand from this? What's my opinion? What might other people think about this? Where is this happening? Why is it happening? When is it happening? Who is involved? All that sort of stuff. And uh, what if you've been in I guess a general or an English class, either at school or an academy or university or whatever, a lot of the time you'll have questions given to you by the teacher or whatever prepared for you. But I think it's a very important thing, just as a general exercise for question formation practice, is you can have a look at here, um, and then you go, okay, so what questions can I ask about the actual text? So you have, I guess, two types. You could have questions where the answer's directly in the text, or questions where you have to have just like think sort of outside of the text, so to speak. Um, and you can try and write your own questions. And with that, so again, there's lots of apps and stuff that you can go to check that the structure of the if the question is okay. And even if you go into something like Google Translate or something, or you've got like Grammarly, those sorts of things, just type it in. You can see if the structure is okay, if the verb conjugation is okay, all of that sort of stuff. If you have no ideas and you say, "Oh, I don't know where to start," what I guess you can do now. Let's see if this works, and you'll see this from, or maybe you would have seen stuff like this with other things and different things. But I think I copied that. So if we copy that and we go over to something like ChatGPT, and using like an AI type of context. So let's see if we can. Okay, we'll type in the article. So let's say, can you summarize this article? And we'll do like quotation marks. We'll put in the article, and then I'm not sure if the quotation marks matter, but anyway. So let's see if that actually comes out. Well, that didn't work. So let's try that again. So I'll just copy that. Sometimes it might work, sometimes not. So okay, well that didn't quite work. So let's do a refresh and see if that will work. Okay, so we'll try that again. Okay, so here we have now one of the criticisms, I guess, you get from things like Chat GPT is that it it doesn't it was too generic. Let's say it doesn't probably go off into the details that uh, we'll say a normal human, or a human might do. But I guess the idea is that it's giving you a start, and that's the main thing. So here it's summarized to a degree. Now it's actually quite the summaries. I guess it is shorter, but I guess there wasn't too much there. So I guess there was chock full of content. So it's given a summary here of the story. And what you can do in terms of, say, questions, if you want to, say, check comprehension questions and other questions, you can ask it. So let's get in here. So can you write some comprehension questions for an English language student for this article? Let's see what it comes up with. Now, with this, you could always say, if you know you're a particular level, you can say, for this particular level. Now, the amount of questions here is quite impressive. So there's 10 questions. And so what I would suggest with this is you would use this more in the sense of, if you're not sure about what to ask, or if you've done some questions and you want to see what are perhaps some other options. Now, the article is not the longest article, let's say, so there are, there's a degree of limitation. But let's have a look at some of the questions here. So it's asking, now I haven't actually read the articles because I've just seen it, but let's assume the answers are in there, but maybe they require some extra research, that sort of thing. So the question, so what is the Eurovision Song Contest? Is the contest just a one-night event? Okay, so this is going to be a yes/no answer. What are the different stages leading up to the competition? What is happening currently in preparation for the competition? Where did the first pre-party of 2023 take place? Who is May Muller? And how does she feel about the pre-party stage? Who organizes the pre-party events? What is the purpose of the pre-party stage? In which city will the Eurovision Song Contest be held in 2023? And what are some of the benefits of participating? Okay, so we see we've got actually quite a variety there, and you see at least three of the question words used. I suppose you've got which in there as well. We've got who, what, and where, and I guess which in there as well. And so that will give you an example of some types of questions to ask. And then, of course, with opinion questions, you can sort of go on from that. Again, starting with creating your own and then going into looking for supplementary questions using something like ChatGPT and whatnot. So, I mean, this is just a suggestion, I guess, in terms of if you feel you have you're not really sure, you're not particularly confident in terms of the questions, or you just want some other options to look at and explore, and maybe they can give you an idea or a hint of what you can use to try and practice. And it's something to compare. And this is particularly good, I guess, if you're in isolation or you're not able to check with other people, or there are not other English students or teachers or whatever around for you to check, consult with, that sort of thing. So, I mean, let me know in the comments what you think. I mean, there's lots of things, of course. Now, this is a digital version, of course. Now, if you have an actual physical magazine or something, that may be a bit of a different story, and you probably have to do it manually. Or there could be like a version of that type of story or that topic online that you can search for and do a similar process and then check how that compares. And anyway, that's quite a good activity in itself, is to compare how different places write about the same or a very, very similar topic. And you can see this with news in particular any sort of current affairs. You can see how different news organizations present the events. Now, obviously, you have angles and opinions and the way that news shares things these days. But I guess you can make that comparison for yourself and see how different journalists portray events. So yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, so I'm going to end the live stream here. As I said, this is just a bit of a test. We are still looking around for time slots that are going to be sort of the best suited, that we can pin down in a more regular basis, at least for certain periods of time. So that may sort of shift from time to time. But yeah, please, you're welcome to subscribe if you're interested in practicing, particularly speaking English. You're welcome to subscribe. Of course, leave a comment, whatever you think about the topic that we've presented today or any other ideas. And like we mentioned right at the start, if you have any, if you like to appear on for practice, send us an email, chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com, or If you just want to get in contact for whatever reason, you're welcome to do that. So we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the day or evening or whatever the time is or where you are. And we'll see you next time. All right. Take care. Bye.